Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. My name is Kevin Dexter, joined by the head coach of the now CAA champion Hofstra Pride women's soccer team, Simon Riddiough. Coach, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win over the weekend.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kevin.
Well, your team going to be playing Boston College in the NCAA tournament this weekend. We'll talk about that in a bit, but first this weekend your team goes down to William & Mary. You defeat the top-seeded Tribe, and you take on UNCW, a thrilling double overtime victory in the conference tournament championship game. What was this whole weekend like for your squad?
The whole week was a crazy emotional roller coaster. We played Northeastern Sunday night, managed to squeak through on PKs, then we got hit with Hurricane Sandy. You know how much devastation that is across the island. We got out of here fortunately early enough and down to Virginia, and then from then on we beat William & Mary and Wilmington to become champions. So it's a bit crazy. Haven't calmed down yet.
Well, this team's of course the way they were able to be resilient, to go into penalty kicks a couple times in the tournament and come away with wins, and then that double overtime victory with Sam Scolaricci coming away with the goal. What can you say about the team's just efficiency to be able to get things done in crunch time down the stretch?
Yeah, it's crazy. The last game of the season we played Northeastern and lost, and I really reamed into them. Was pretty upset with every aspect of our game, and then the next day in practice we said, look, this is a new season, you've got every chance to right what we did so wrong yesterday, and you've got to give testament to the players. They stepped up and we had great leadership from our older players. The younger players gave us so much energy and enthusiasm, and overall it was just a really strong squad effort. Everybody bought into what we had to do. Everybody did everything they could feasibly do, whether it's motivationally, whether it's in practice, to get us on board. And when that happens, it's great to see, and good things happen when you see that.
And you dropped the final 3 games of the regular season before coming in. So what you spoke about the change in the team's attitude, but what did you really need to do in terms of on the field things that you need to correct anything, work on anything in practice to be able to make this quick turnaround after losing and into winning?
Not necessarily. We were happy with some of the performances, and 2 out of the 3 losses we played very well. We just had unfortunate results in one of them. So from our perspective, we were on the right path. However, we just needed nudging a little bit to show how important these games are. And when you've got a really young team, sometimes the importance gets missed. It's just another game to some of these players. And once I think they realised how close we were and how fortunate we were to still be playing, I think they realised that we've got an opportunity they can't let go.
On the tournament, most outstanding player was Emily Morphetus, your goalkeeper, really stepped up in the penalty kicks and a couple of instances in the games, and all 3 of the games in the tournament. Talk about her performance and what she was able to do this weekend.
She probably was the biggest factor on why we won the championship. I think Emily will be the first one to testify she's had an average season by her standards, and the last 3 games she was lights out. She's been brilliant, making save after save, commanding, confident, organising the defence, and obviously in PKs coming up big in 2 shootouts, making 2 saves, which is difficult to do by any standards.
Before the tournament, your team receives a couple of individual accolades in terms of all conference teams. Leah Galton named CAA Rookie of the Year, also on the CAA first team along with Joe Mulholland, a couple of freshmen. On your team you also had a couple of third-teamers in Brooke Vandernagel and Ruby Staplehurst as well. I mean, the individual awards, obviously the team goal, you were able to win the CAA championship, but what do you have to say about the individual awards as well?
Yeah, we spoke about awards. Awards are great to get, but in reality you get them by opinions of other people. You can't control who gets what, and we spoke about that and we said, look, if you get an award then great, enjoy it, love it. If you don't get an award and think you deserve one, then prove people wrong. And you've got to give credit to Leah Galton and Joe Mulholland as freshmen to come into a really strong conference and perform at the high level they have and continue to develop over the 18 games really is a testament to their abilities. They're both fantastic kids. They want to win, and they've adjusted tremendously to college. And obviously Brooke's been there before. We know her attributes, we know how emotional and passionate she is, and she tried to lead us through the end, and that's a deserved award. And for Ruby to get an award, I think it's testament to her consistency. She was fantastically consistent throughout the year, and I think it's good that the recognise that, because sometimes consistent performers don't always get recognised, and she did, and she thoroughly deserved it. She's been fantastic for us.
You win the conference championships, you get the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. You're going to be taking on Boston College now for the second time in 3 years in the NCAA tournament. When you saw their name pop up, did your mind immediately trigger back to 2010 and they were the team to knock you out a couple of years ago?
Yeah, we spoke about it before, Andy. You know, there was probably 3 or 4 teams we thought would be coupled with us, depending on where the NCAA seeded us and so forth. And BC was probably the most normal option. It's close in travel. Figured they would be seeded similar to where we would be coupled wise, and you know, we were quite content with BC. We've been there, we know their facilities. We play in Boston every year, so as long as there's a familiarity at this stage of the season, it's all gravy at the moment. You know, you get there, you enjoy it. It's a team we've played. It's a team with great tradition, and you know, hopefully we can play well and do ourselves justice and do the university proud.
Have any of the upperclassmen spoken about being up there a couple of years ago, or have you talked to any alumni recently, or maybe had their careers ended a couple of years ago on that?
Some alumni have demanded revenge, but that's not necessarily how we do it. Joe Mulholland, her cousin, plays for BC, who's from Long Island as well, so I think Joe was extremely excited that she's going to have both sets of her family in the crowd supporting both kids. You know, and all the other kids that, you know, again, we're just happy we got into the NCAAs, and now we get to Boston, which is a beautiful town, and we can enjoy ourselves for the next week or so.
You get there, you have that first round game, but what's going to be the key to picking up a win on Friday night against BC and maybe extending your season a little bit?
Well, we know BC is a tremendous team. They're steamed with tradition. Alison's done a fantastic job with that program over the last 10 years. They've got some really special players. We have to neutralise those special players. We have to play tight defence. We have to be physical, because they're going to be a strong, powerful team. And hopefully, if we do the right things, we give ourselves a puncher's chance to win. I think we've got some weapons offensively. I think we're dangerous in some situations that we can cause anybody problems. And if we do the right things, it's going to be a really good game.
All right, Coach Simon, Riddiough squad in the first round of the NCAA tournament up at Boston College, a 7 o'clock start on Friday. Coach, congrats on the CAA championship and best of luck up in Chestnut Hill.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
And thank you for tuning in to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com.